welcome back to the MLK experience. How you guys doing?
Fine.
Good. So we got Luis over there acting like he's not on the phone, but he's really
No,
on his
I'm
phone.
checking just to make sure that we're all, the sound is good.
We got Mimi Jones over there giving it up. Well, I'm glad that we made it back here another week, and I just wanted to tell you guys that, share some personal information. I am dealing with pandemic pressure. Does anybody know what pandemic pressure is?
Is it like TMI?
Well, everything is TMI these days. What's
Just
not
give me
TMI?
a warning before you start telling me too much that I don't want to know.
You should be the last person in the world to talk about TMI, right, Louise?
I don't know. Don't speak English.
Exactly. Let me tell
Don't speak
you.
English.
Let me tell you something. Como se dice? This is what she says. Ella dice everything, and then you gotta smell it too. TMI.
What?
But anyway, the whole point is back to what I was saying. So pandemic pressure, right? Pandemic pressure has to do with during this time. I don't know if anybody else is feeling like this. You are expected to produce. You are expected to do so much. Even if you're working from home or you're working where you're working, because things are so over the top, it's like you got to get the numbers out. You have to produce. Look at me today. This is after a week of pandemic pressure. Or you're like, you know what? I got to create a business because these musicians over here put out 4 records during the pandemic. Or
That's a lot of pressure.
it's a lot of pressure. So one thing that we have to do is we have to remain stable. We got to remain centered during this time because there's so many different things that are coming your way. I don't know who you voted for. I can't tell you who to vote for, but if you have been watching Rudy Giuliani and his hair dye dripping down the side of his face, Donald Trump has been taking out the copper wires of the White House and trying to sell them off. Let me tell you what he did. He's selling off the plumbing, and I only got that from Trevor Noah because he's funny. But realistically, you know what he did? I found out. You know what he did? He was auctioning off the wildlife in the Antarctica. So like you're not supposed to drill.
I have heard that.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
He's auctioning off to the highest bidder. So it's like during his last 60 days, I mean, they are going crazy. So today there was a press conference. What's the guy's name? Pence. He walks out of the press conference. They haven't had a coronavirus conversation. Speaking of the coronavirus, now, you may not believe in the coronavirus. You may say, hey, the coronavirus, it's a hoax. It does not exist, right? Okay, fine. That's fine. But the numbers are going up. They closed New York City schools. Catholic schools are still open, so that's up to you if you want to send your children to school. But the whole point is things are happening. Homeboy walks out of, you can Google this, you can look it up on YouTube. He literally walks out the press conference. So I'm saying all this to say, and then you're like, okay, I got to start my business. I have to get this going. We have to remember to take a break and center yourself. It is so important right now because you could literally go off the deep end. I don't know if you're homeschooling. I don't know if you're, trying to stay abreast, to stay afloat rather, I should say. We have to take a second. And that is why we come to the MLK experience to listen to these 2 weirdos play this music on a regular basis. I'm done.
introduce them. That is Mimi Jones and Luis Perdomo. So give it up for those. Let's give them another round of applause. Wait, let's give them a bike order.
Oh man, that was kind of.
That was you didn't like that?
Anticlimactic.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna call you guys?
The two
The two
Great.
I'm gonna call you guys fingers. Fingers. Well, anybody that was watching will understand what I was talking about. You guys move your fingers at like how many miles per hour?
Oh, it looks like.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Well, this one here, he had COVID chops, but he started practicing. You left me in the dark, man. Now you play with Tom Howell. You've been at the Vanguard and all that stuff this week.
Wow.
Yeah, this is like. I'm like,
Just get into your exercises.
that's it. That's all I got. It's not what you said last week. But anyway, that song was called Minority. Louise picked it today because today, I think today is Gigi Grice's birthday. So the great Gigi Grice wrote that. And we're going to play another song for you called Windows by the wonderful, marvelous man who never loses a Grammy. Has he ever lost the Grammy?
Yeah, yesterday actually.
Oh, damn. Shoot. Wow.
Was yesterday the Grammys?
The Latin Grammys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep. Mr. Chicoria. That was so like awkward, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought he never loses, so.
Well, he
But
wins all the time.
lost
So.
yesterday.
She got her facts off.
Yeah.
But I realized my mic was off. That was what was off. So I need to do it again. That was Mimi Jones and Luis Perdomo, the two fingers. So we're gonna call you guys four fingers.
Like that. Like, you got two Americans. But I think they can hear you fine through this microphone.
Yeah. Through the other one too.
Yeah, and that one facing that way.
Max, I
You
turned
just
it off.
wanted to give us an extra.
I just wanted to do it again.
Alright.
Alright. Alrighty. So you're setting this up or?
Just kind of 2 bars. 1, 2, 3.
so cool. Yeah, you guys are amazing.
Mimi Jones.
you.
Mimi Jones.
I do need a little practice, but that's all right. That was fun, so I hope you guys enjoyed it because, I have not been playing that much. I've been at the computer.
I think everybody has been at the computer. I think that's the
Yeah,
whole
like
thing.
we're like attached to it now.
Yeah, it's like it's not fun.
No, I think that's part of the pressure. It's like we're not getting to go outside and take a walk. Because usually you have to go somewhere to get to work or go somewhere to do something, but everything is like online. So you're just kind of sitting there crumpled up.
And then like also if you think about how difficult it is to get things done online. You know what I mean? Like when you're trying to put up a I don't know, a podcast or a whatever.
Yeah, you gotta figure out all this stuff that you never did before.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing that, like all this time, like figuring out, different programs and stuff, and then sometimes the internet is not working, so you hit a wall.
Yep, and then it's like,
man.
and you know what? Kudos to those people who have been working in this field for a long time. Like that must be great. But if you haven't been working in this field, it can be very, very difficult. What I will say, it's important that you get outside and you go for a walk. Like
Absolutely.
you get into nature. I know Mimi, she's good
I
with
was
that.
walking, but I kind of like fell off because then.
Your walking partner.
Yeah, she
moved.
left.
Yeah.
But I gotta motivate myself.
Well, I don't know what to tell you because I would love to walk with you, but
You get itchy
But
legs.
you're not gonna do it.
I know.
Luis, nobody asked you.
Luis, are you gonna do it? Will you walk with me?
You were talking to her.
Will you?
The conversation is AB.
What was that? Luis says he's. Oh, Miriam. Oh, Mimi, that was sad.
Will someone walk with me through the Bronx? It's a little dangerous and
No, it's not.
scary.
You're from like the Bronx.
But
People are probably scared of you.
Oh, Mimi, this is making me want to cry. That's so sad.
not him.
I'm not paying him no mind. I
He
have.
said people are scared of me.
Listen. I don't
They
know.
might be.
I'm not paying the Luis any. No Luis. I'm not paying him no mind.
Listen, if you guys have a birthday or know someone that has a birthday, let us know because we want to give them a shout out.
Hey, let's give those birthday
A
shout outs. Well, before that, a birthday shout out to Master Matthew, who is getting born right now.
He's not even here yet.
I mean, he's still supposed to be here. She was having a C-section. Jonathan, one of our syndicates from
Oh, wow.
yes,
Shovel Squad.
Shovel Squad. He's having his baby in this 8 Eastern time, 8 p.m. He was supposed to be here at 8 o'clock, so he may be here already.
Wow.
I
It's
mean,
funny you can schedule your baby.
yeah, you can schedule. I think with COVID, a lot of that is happening now. And so, let me get you out the camera. Then, what else? Then we also want to send positive, loving energy to Geraldine Cincino.
Yes.
Yes, because she's having an operation tonight, or she had
But she had it today.
She had it today. So we are sending you so much positive energy,
Love and energy.
love, energy. That's what we do. We love you so much.
Can I add one? So one of my students, his name is Holden. His mom is a frontline worker. She's a nurse.
Oh.
She's in Colorado. They do not have enough equipment. He's really worried.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked the class, but I'm going to ask all of us and you guys, can you send some good energy out for my student?
Yes, yes,
Tonight.
yes. So we are sending loving
And his
energy
mom.
out.
Protection.
Protection energy out. Yes, we sending that out. Who else we got?
Tons of folks.
Tons of folks.
We got Louise.
And if you have somebody that you drop their name, because they always say like Breonna Taylor and all these situations, you gotta say people's names. You gotta say the
so
name.
you don't forget.
Yeah, like that's why we we keep Severio's name in our hearts. You gotta say people's names. You gotta keep the conversation relevant.
This is true. It's easy to forget when things kind of calm down. Like the election is like fake over, but it
Yeah.
feels like whatever. Actually, it doesn't feel like whatever. It feels like it's crazy.
It feels crazy.
It feels crazy.
But it's important for us to, and that's why I say if you're listening, put your information in and let's have this conversation. Now, one interesting thing is that Mimi Jones has been working on a project that is airing on HBO. Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, so Mimi Jones, who is from the BX, the Boogie Down Bronx. Mimi Jones, was that off?
No, it was on.
Oh, Mimi Jones has been working, and so she has been carrying her bass to Simpson Street. Luis is going to take the whole thing down.
that would have been good.
Carrying her bass to Simpson Street, playing the bass since she was in high school, and just going and going and going and doing so much. And so it's just super awesome. We definitely have a lot of guests on, but we want to give you a big shout out and say, keep going, girl.
Thank you.
You
thank
on this?
you. And thank you, everyone who has supported me, because it's not easy, and I really, really appreciate all the love and encouragement. When people see me and they're like, "You play that big bass, girl." I appreciate y'all. You don't even know me, but it's just love, and I take that with me. It's like, okay, it means something to somebody.
That's chicken restaurants. True. That matters. It matters. Listen. We are big fans of Mimi Jones and Luis Perdomo. I think we're your biggest fans, right?
Aww.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're big fans. So your new name is called Four Fingers.
But it connects us, right? We gotta be connected. Because he don't really like me like that.
Four Fingers.
And yeah, see? Exactly.
That's two right there.
I'm not in that.
She does that all the time to me. You never see it. Hey.
That's two fingers though. You can't count.
Yeah, that's three.
It's 4 fingers.
Well, I got 2, and he got 2. You said 4.
Oh well.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't count.
Anyway, the whole point is we want to give you a big shout out to. I'm not even paying them no attention. I'm taking them off my screen. We want to give a big shout out to you because that's a great project. And tell us little bit about the project and what it was like.
So I'm so just blown away by this project. I really hope that you guys can watch it. It's going to stream, even though it premieres tomorrow night at 8 on HBO Max, which I don't have that. Do we have that?
What is HBO Max? Is that Cinemax and HBO coming together?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think HBO Max is like because.
But I think it's like one of the big ones.
Yeah, it's one. But I think it's because there's no movie theater.
Right. That's what. See, you smart. That's exactly what it is. That's what I think.
I just be watching TV.
And so Mr. Jason Moran, a very fun musician, called me up and said, "Would you do this project with me and Nate Smith?" And so we've been working on this project for the last 3 years, where we traveled. We started at the Apollo because the executive director and producer, she is housed there. That Apollo is actually where she's the executive producer there. And so she decided she wanted to do this project based on this amazing book by the great Ta-Nehisi Coates. Author. If you don't know him, check him out. And it's called Between the World and Me. And she had all these ideas. So we would be on stage at the Apollo, and they had cinematography behind us, and all of these icons, these black icons, come in and read and just bring the story to life, parts of the story, like a collage. And so the timing of it, I mean, I hate to say it's always right on time, because you look like you dying over there. You okay?
Nobody can see me.
I know, but I can't even take it because you're like.
Because I'm trying to burp.
Oh, I'm like, what is?
I'm drinking this.
What is going on? And it's distracting.
It's distracting. You gotta learn how to not be. What kind of
I'm not a professional producer.
What kind of entertainer are you? Keep going.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, her and Jason had put together this musical collage, and they just had so many icons on the stage. It's insane. And so I guess with the COVID, we weren't able to physically get together because we were gonna do something. And so actually, because of quarantine and the fact that it's on technology, it goes out to way more people. So it becomes global. Why are you laughing?
Because I just have to say, I have a really great smile. People tell me this all the time. And Chip Shelton just said,
"Oh, that's your dentist." That was my dentist. But
I know.
I don't wear my.
I know. But you have a great smile too. So I just want to give a great shout out to Dr. Shelton, who is retired but was my orthodontist.
He's a great flautist, actually.
Yeah.
Musician.
I know. I'm sorry.
He's got like two sides.
He does.
But you got excited.
I know, but I'm just because he's my dentist, and people always but they always say I have nice teeth.
You do have nice teeth.
But
you got that out of the litter. Lucky.
Sorry.
Teeth and legs.
I did
got
not
that.
mean to. Well, listen.
I got the bow legs and the crooked teeth.
No, but see, bow legs are cute, and you got nice hair, and you got. I'm not gonna get into it, but you got a bigger butt. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Okay, keep it going.
So anyway, not to harp on it, it's an amazing project that they put together, and with the help of an immaculate team during COVID. I mean, like, they were so strict about the testing. They were able to put this piece together that is just profound, and it's just beautiful. I'm a little biased because I like the live show. I didn't tell Camilla that, but this piece of work that she made is just so visually stimulating, and even if you're not an African American, it is a great tool to become educated and behind the scenes from different perspectives of the Black experience. High, low, sideways, backwards, all kinds of things, to just if there was any clarity that was need to be had, this film has it in it. And it feels a little bit like a documentary, but it's it's based on this book that Ta-Nehisi wrote. So yeah, let's check it out, I guess.
Black is beautiful. The Black body is beautiful.
Era here. Everyone has a story. Here's mine.
To be Black in the Baltimore of my youth was to be naked before the elements.
I wanted to pursue things. I was admitted to Howard University, but formed and shaped by the Mecca. The Mecca is a machine crafted to capture and concentrate the dark energies of all African peoples and inject them directly into the student body.
In America, it is traditional to destroy the Black body. I'm sorry that I cannot save you. I have always wanted you to attack every day of your brief, bright life in struggle.
Struggle for your grandmother and grandfather. Struggle for the memory of your ancestors. Struggle for your name. We have made something down here. They made us into a race. We made ourselves into a people.
Yeah, America the ugly. This country is deep, to say the least. As from Louisville, Kentucky to LA to the east, where the race been on. But recently I've been making peace with the fact Black bodies are worth more if they're deceased.
Welcome, everyone. You're watching the Mlk Show. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm Mimi Jones. Today we have a special guest. I'm so happy that she made the time to be here today. We have executive producer, director of the new film coming out called Between the World and Me, which was inspired by a great book written by the author, Ta-Nehisi Coates. We have Camilla Forbes in the house.
Hey, hey everybody. First of all, thank you, Mimi, for having me on your show. So I just love being in your orbit at any point. So,
girl, my orbit could be crazy. It might be rotating the opposite way. That could be scary. So hold on. Thank you so much, though, for being here. I know you have a lot going on. The drop of this movie is actually coming out in about 24 hours. So, you must be so excited.
I am. It's funny, like when you sit with a project and it's in your cocoon and in your like safety net of your kind of creative counsel, and then you've got to release it and let it off to the world, can be really scary. And there's a little anticipation, but honestly, Mimi, I'm so proud of the work that we all did on this production. And yeah, we were making the film since July, but quite frankly, this journey of adaptation started 5 years ago, and you've been a key part of that journey. From from New York, staging it in Washington D.C., then also taking it to the Kennedy Center, then back to New York, and then Atlanta. I mean, you've been a part of all of that whole journey. You, Nate, and Jason, and so it's really incredible now to see it in another form. Share the world now.
Oh, that is so awesome, and it is always a pleasure working with you. You to me are, I mean, we're not talking about age here. It kind of doesn't matter, but it is so important to know that younger producers that are coming up, in the house are just in place, and they are speaking the truth. They are making sure that the view that is shown on us, the light that is shown on us is right. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like, kind of when I'm watching some movies when I was growing up, you had to have like a certain tone color in the lead role, or you are really just showing all sides of the beauty of the black person, and it's just it's I feel really honored. I feel really proud. There's like a pride that comes.
Good. You always hope that everyone who's had a hand in it, which is, especially with film, it becomes so many people really are able to feel proud about the product that we create, right? The end result. And yeah, it's funny you talk about beauty, because that was a really big part of, like, I think the visual direction, right? Is how do we make sure to show each the uniqueness of all of who we are as a people, diasporically, um, from all the different shades, shapes, all of that. Like, we wanted to make sure to celebrate that visually, from how we shot everyone to archival, the kind of archival we use, the home movies, the home videos, the Instagram posts that we're able to pull from. Really just really it kind of really showed the full tapestry. I wanted the film to feel like, almost like you're opening like a Black family album. You know what I mean? Like,
You
all of
got
the
that.
album from like generations on generations on generations. So it was an exciting story to do that with. So yeah, it was a really fun time. Visually been a lot of fun.
Oh man, it seems like, I mean, because you were able to capture the dark sides. Sometimes we see, like, I get this a lot when I travel and I watch news from overseas, like in Japan. Sometimes I would see the news and it would just capture, like, be careful going past, 125th Street. Well, now it would be like, be careful going up into the Bronx, be
Yeah,
careful going,
right.
you know and maybe you would see, of course, someone of color stealing something, or they're in the news, they're getting handcuffed, but you were able to show, like, to complete the vision of, like, okay, maybe this person is doing this, maybe it's not their fault, maybe they're being arrested because they're being targeted. And so in that, you're showing, like, the dark side and the beauty was coming out, like, while bad things were happening in this movie, or things that we would think, like a scene of poverty, but it made you just, like, look at it and just feel some kind of empathy. These people are humans. These people are, maybe they just didn't have what they needed, the way, but in the midst of it, their spirit, they're gorgeous. They're being honest, they're just going with what it is that they had to do. And unfortunately, there's a lot of right now, where, I mean, we've been dealing with this for seasons, for years. I mean, from
Right.
slavery, Willie Lynch,
Right.
that worked.
That's right. That's
All of
right.
all of that stuff. It's not just that a person ends up in a situation, if you're coming up in poverty, you only have so much to work with.
That's right.
You know,
That's
and
right.
so to me, this really shows how, despite the lack of thereof, I mean, you're one of the scenes mentions, this kid, his mom is like, oh, if he doesn't go to Columbia, he's gonna go to Howard. If he doesn't go to Harvard, Howard's gonna Harvard. He's gonna. It's like all the elite schools. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people don't see us in that light. So I love the fact that there's like a bridge between, okay, you can be pulled over by a cop or, targeted in a situation. Let's just say that. We don't know how you got there, whether it was poverty or whatever. But then, you could, it connects. It's not like you have, well, my black friend is so and so. It's everybody is the same person.
Yeah. There's a line. First of all, I think a lot of that like duality sits in Ta-Nehisi's writing and all of his writing, which I think is why his voice is one of the most profound voices of our generation, right? Because he's able to shine a very real and critical light at our current condition. There's this side of him that is the journalist, that is all about investigation and real truths. There's also the side of him that's the poet, is how can I look at these real truths and render it through a different lens? And by different lens, it's rendering, it's recontextualizing the language in a way that makes it palpable for us to hear.
Okay.
So I think he just does that beautifully with the writing. And interestingly enough, what you talked about also about this idea of, sort of where our community lives sort of on just spectrum and opportunity and access. He has this line, there's a recurring theme in the book and in the film about the ability to break your body, right? About and how that is a result of intended policy. And the book was very, very in depth about this idea of policy so that we can gain a better understanding of our intent, of how systematic our current condition as a people has been the last 400 years that we've been here in this country, right? This is not by chance. The whole American promise of pull up by the bootstraps was only meant for some, not for all. And we've got to realize that and distinguish that in order to really challenge and change, right? So I think that's sort of just the why his writing is just so profound, and I think it gave us just so amazing source material to elevate and amplify visually.
Absolutely, and also that duality lies in an emotional part of us, where we can't stay. It's weird because we have to be woke, but we can't stay angry because then you can't move forward in a light. You need help, from other, globally we need help with everything. If there's no lights, we can't write. Who turns on the lights? Who pays? Who comes to my shows? Who helps support? We can't just be. But it is definitely time for us to acknowledge that our community is strong, and the powers that are given to us as a birthright. Sometimes it's like we've just been so numbed and so beaten down to just think we don't deserve certain things. We're incapable of doing certain things. And even if you're progressive about it, there's that moment where you have doubt, where someone else might just be like, oh yeah, of course, I'm just doing this. But it's like, wait, can I do that? Is this... So I just really want to applaud you, first of all, as a Black woman. This happened. I don't go too far in depth because sometimes I have to just pretend like I'm just an artist, so I can get my art done. But at a certain point, I have to go, wait a minute, that seems a lot harder than this other person. Sometimes I think about it later, like, damn, I had to jump so many hurdles.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if you if what was that process for you? Did you run into anything in trying to bring this into fruition and
Well, I'll say this is that it's interesting because I was pitching this project theatrically early on, and to other places, institutions to develop, and wasn't getting much traction. So then in 2016, when I took the position as executive producer at the Apollo, I was now in a position of power to say, you know what? I'm gonna do this project. So I didn't have to wait for anyone to say, yes, we will allow you to do it, or yes, here's the funding, or yes, right? It was myself in a position of power to say yes, and therefore able to rally my institution around this, what I felt was an extremely progressive art making, progressive community building idea. And I think that's where sort of the shift, I think, in power and access came when I became in a position of power to then greenlight my own project. And therefore there was a how do I say a proof of concept, right? Like now people can see exactly what it is and get excited by it. But yeah, no, I think that was very difficult, and I look at some of my other colleagues who have different points of access, as you stated, right? For whatever reason, whether it was because of family connections or whatever, someone had opened a door. Now, that's not to say other people haven't opened a door, because absolutely they have, for me, to sit in this seat now, to have the experiences that I've had. But specifically on this project, yeah, there were hurdles. There were hurdles, and thankfully, we are able to be kind of where we are now.
This is a great spot. I mean, I can only, I can only imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
To be able to sit back and talk about, we're gonna watch the premiere together, and
digitally, right? It's so funny because I'm so used to opening night, so we get all dressed up. We'll be at the Apollo in our fancy chairs, in our dresses and drinking wine and champagne. But it was none of that, right? We were like in our
I know. So fighting through, yeah, the reality of just being in the COVID too.
I know.
It's just really a lot. But I mean, more power to you. We got to get things done. Come on.
We got to look. One thing I'll say is that, with all that has been canceled during this time of COVID, one thing that cannot be canceled is culture, right? And we will continue and find a way to either make art, look, hear your show, right? Have conversations, connect, and build culture, right? That is one thing that is a baseline. We will always find a way. And I think even making this film during this time of COVID, is another, just a proof of that. We'll always find a way to make art, and to connect with people. And that was indicative of this film. We made this film in the midst and the height of kind of COVID, and we shot in over 6 different cities, shot over 20 different people, worked with over 20 different artists, right, on camera to make this happen. And it was a major feat, but we knew that there was an urgent conversation to be had now. And this was something that could not wait until next year, 21, until, the vaccine is out and bans are lifted. No, this was something we had to do now. And, I'm thankful HBO believed in that as well. So, 4 months later, here we are.
You included the peaceful protests in there, not so peaceful protests that were needed, in there, and it's so current. I mean, it is so current with Breonna Taylor in there, and just all of anyone who had passed away at that time, which just a few months ago, your turnaround time is ridiculous, Camilla.
Yeah.
It's like
I have to give that up to our team. We had an incredible team, and they believed, because I think this timeline is a bit unprecedented for what we accomplished. Um, they believed and worked tirelessly to get this done, and get this done with the amount of time, but also never sacrificing quality.
the graphics, the flow of the way things went from one thing to another. It really drew you in as a, even if you're not an African American, or of African diaspora, you felt like compelled to watch this. The
Mhm.
way you work the animation into it, the paintings, the
Yeah,
colors,
yeah.
just just exquisite,
Thank
exquisite. And
you.
it
Thank
shows so
you.
many sides of our culture, our legacy, our history. um
Mm.
yeah, just
That's
just
really so great. It's always an interest to be, like I said, when describing this, was always thinking like the words tapestry and collage were
mm,
the biggest kind of ringers in my brain, about tapestry of voices of actors, a tapestry visually, of visuals, a tapestry of the opportunity to use like contemporary artists that I admire, like Titus Kaphar, Bisa Butler, Kalita Rawls, Lorna Simpson, Dr. Fahad Mupiko, using those folks because as part of the tapestry, because I feel like their work also tells a story of our people now. And so
yes,
how can we use that to visually amplify? So I love that kind of thing, right? I love when there's like many different like mixed media. I love the our opportunity when we were using Instagram footage, and docu footage from like the 50s of Black families, where
right,
it's like, oh, that
right,
feels familiar. Like the only time I've seen footage like that is with my family. My
right,
grandma, or that could be my grandpa.
absolutely,
That's the feeling that we see ourselves in this film, but and also the world sees us in this film, and ultimately also sees their own humanity reflected back at them. And that was
right.
like core mission.
You
Yeah.
got that. You
Mhm.
definitely accomplished that. There was a sense of intimacy as well. Like you were in a person's house with them,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
like you said, you could relate. Even if you are not, of African descent, you could relate because everybody has a relationship with their dad or their grandma, or if someone lost someone, that feeling of loss was there, that feeling of love, just absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Can you tell our viewers when exactly this is going to air? And
Absolutely. It's going to air November 21st on HBO and HBO Max. And then we'll continue streaming on HBO Max. So even if you miss it on the 21st, you should be able to watch it at any point on HBO Max.
I'm so psyched. I saw it already, last night at the premiere by myself with you guys online,
Yeah.
which was fun too. But I really look forward to seeing it again and seeing the world's reaction, especially at a time where it's important to express how we feel and not let that, Black Lives Matter shouldn't be like a fad or fashion. We have to remember,
That's right.
because somehow it always seems to just go back down,
That's right.
and then it's like we forget. And I think it's important to have positive ways to
That's right.
remind,
That's right.
jumpstart
And
our
also, remind this is a continuum, right? There's a line also from the film. This is old for Black people. This isn't new for Black people, right? Black Lives Matter is a
no,
continuum from the 60s and the
absolutely,
70s, right? From also the protests that happened in the 30s, the movement after Reconstruction, the
absolutely.
abolitionism. So we've been fighting here for a second.
Oh man,
um, but
oh man,
but there is one of the lessons I think taking from it is that, like, how do we find our place in the all of it, even amongst the
hmm
struggle,
hmm
because amongst that struggle we bore some beautiful gems. Our music comes out of struggle, right? Our storytelling comes out of struggle. There is such a richness of who we are, a passion of who we are, because of what we have been so resilient through. So there is, it is all, how do we live within the all of it, while yes, absolutely demanding justice, but also living within the all of it.
And thank you for connecting all of these famous people that we look up to. You had Angela Davis in with the fro, but then now, just in her beautiful self now, and seeing how through time how we change, but how the beauty continues. Because sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, my chin is starting. But I saw that and I was like, she looks different, but she looks so beautiful
Just
now.
regal, just regal.
What?
You saw that fro then, and then you see her now sitting there with that glow.
It was like, boom.
It was so exciting and inspiring to see Angela Bassett, Felicia Rashad, and Oprah just looking so amazing,
right?
And then you gave the tribute to Chadwick Boseman, which was still I'm still dark from that, because he just touched us in a way, and I'm still finding out how many movies he's in that I had no idea that he had done. So thank you for that. And I was gonna say, one of my favorite shows, Insecure, you had one of the supporting boyfriends.
Kendrick.
Yes, I love him. So you've got like the young ones, and you've got the season together, and I thought that was so amazing. Maybe that's a good part of the times that we're in with the technology, but it's just amazing. Thank you for that, and you must feel crazy about that too, because
I do. There's a little bit of like, oh my God, all these people are in this, and I admire them all incredibly. And everyone came together to tell this sort of unified story. And you could just feel the love, not even just the love, but the urgency and the passion when people, signed up and came aboard to do this. And the grace that people gave. We dealt a bunch, even because we were shooting remotely. Like I said, we shot in 6 different cities, but I couldn't be in every city. So in a lot of cases, I was directing remotely.
Wow.
We had to deal with technology issues. I remember with Wendell Pierce in Atlanta.
Yes.
Like it was one of the most incredible shoots, but also the moment where like technology was not on our side. He couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear him. There was something beeping in his ear, and it was like, I was like, oh my God, this is a disaster. But it was so much beauty, because you know what? There was a point he just was like, you know what? I got it. And we stripped away some layers of technology, and he was like, we're just gonna do it like this. And that's again another one. I mean, I love every single scene, but another one that's really special to me with him and Michelle Wilson.
So beautiful, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Everyone, please tune in. And what is that time again? And where
8
we're going?
p.m. November 21st. HBO, streaming on HBO Max, Between the World and Me.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
For everything, and I look forward to the next, and to see what you come up with next. Please keep in touch. You look amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless. Be safe.
And thank you for blessing the music, because it's so integral. That was very important to me, and it's always been. So I'm always blessed to have you as a collaborator. So thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, and thank Jason Moran. He did
Jason Moran, yes.
Killed it. All right, my dear.
All right.
I'm out. Good luck with everything, and we'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch. Yes.
Yeah.
so awesome. Oh my God. You know what? I just have to say, I'm so blessed to know so many cool people. Yeah, man. Mimi, where you at?
Did you like it?
That was so deep. That was so amazing. I just want to give a big shout out to Dwayne Smith. Hey.
Go Squire.
Oh man. And then I gotta give a big old happy shout out to Hannibal. Yay, you made it to the Mlk Show. Yo, that's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. So, we are so glad. I gotta say, I don't trust people who wear sunglasses indoors at night.
I'm a movie star now. At least for tomorrow. And it's gonna keep streaming for like a while. So I'll be a star for like for that much time.
Okay.
Actually, you can't see me in the film.
I got you. You know what? But I'm gonna just say this: people who wear sunglasses indoors
really closely to see me
at night. Oh, they gotta look closely to see you.
No,
but they can
I'm
hear
not
you.
in it like that, but you can hear me.
They can hear you. But I will say, you know what? That was a great interview. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. Hanging out with us. Joining another episode of the MLK Experience. We love you. Mimi Jones wears sunglasses because she's a movie star now.
You gotta think it, right? Be about it. I'm talking that shit. Sorry. Why you guys laughing at me?
I am not laughing at you. Listen, you gotta believe it. In order for it to happen, you gotta make your dreams come true. And that's what this is about, making your dreams come true. Listen, I told you, today I've shared with you pandemic pressure. If you got your kids, Hannibal, you know what it is. Have your kids at home, trying to homeschool, trying to create your business.